Good morning and welcome to the Haven Tree Parent Family Podcast, where we get a minute to talk about something we think is important to us and to you before the kids wake up, hopefully.
Today's special guest is Rapunzel, or Punzi. You say hi? Punzi is our current mama at the Haven Tree Homestead. She has 3 puppies, and she is enjoying getting a break from them right now. I can tell you that with certainty. She is really enjoying getting to walk around on the table and get some love without getting jumped by her babies. Punzi is joining us today to talk about some creative strategies that we have used to incorporate into our school day to help not lose our minds altogether and to get through the school day a little bit more easily.
All right, so since we're going to talk about techniques and styles of just different aspects for doing school, it's a little bit more technical. So it's this will be a me and you thing, because I always try to find apps that are useful. Like when Adrian needs to learn to read some things, try to find a flashcard app, and there's plenty of stuff that's out there. The challenge is finding one that actually is good and what you want it to work on. So
yeah. So you kind of jumped right into our first point, which is technology. Technology is a wonderful thing. We all love it very much. And certainly there's concern about screen time. I know that everybody, has their own opinions on how much screen time is appropriate and not appropriate. We kind of have an odd, I guess, line or rule on that. We don't allow screen time for like playing games on the Switch or watching TV or playing games on the tablet or the phone during kind of the normal school hour time.
we try not to.
Well, but that's mostly because I found that they really have a hard time focusing after they've watched a TV show. I don't know why, their brains just don't work anymore. It's like they're broken. Once they've watched a TV show, their brains are broken. They can't focus anymore to do any school. So that's kind of the rule we've set. Honestly,
yeah, there's no morning cartoons with cereal like that. Make your day awful.
It really does. And that's something that we kind of had to have a conversation about once your work schedule changed. Because you would kind of say like,
wake up, go watch a show. Mom will be down to start with school later.
Yeah. And it was like, do not do that. Like he was trying to let me sleep in. And it was like, this is ruining the whole day. Yeah. Like, don't do that.
Sorry.
Which, we figured that out since then.
Because that's what Saturdays would usually be. Yeah. Like when I'm home Saturday, like, hey, let's wake up, let's watch a cartoon, and Mom will be down whenever Mom comes down.
I'm very spoiled on Saturdays. Let's be.
Well, I like to get up and like put some bacon together or some hash browns and whatever.
So, so that's what works for our family. If your kids aren't as affected by screen time and their brains don't turn to mush watching a TV show, honestly, it might be a way to help balance. Like, okay, you take your break, go watch TV while I work with your sibling, because, when you turn the TV on, usually your children become silent zombies, which would be great for not causing distraction for the other sibling. But
some people might not have that space either, where like our TV room is separated from the dining room, so we can have a dining room table without visibility of the TV. So you just have to worry about, again, like our last podcast, we talk about with separating them.
Yeah. So anyway, we do allow screen time as it relates to school and learning. I am all about using apps that are good apps for learning. Our favorite is Lexia, and this is not like sponsored by or any of that, but Lexia, if you are someone that's homeschooling full time and that's your choice, I would totally recommend looking at Lexia. I honestly can't sing its praises enough. I mean, that's all there is to it. I love that it is probably the best app for identifying areas of weakness in your child and really addressing them. We have, really smart kids. Unfortunately, most kids, when it comes to technology, are way too smart for their own darn good. and they can just sort of figure out, like, if it's something that they're really not understanding the concept, they can just kind of like click through it until they get to the next level, and they're not really learning the concept, right?
Obi, our 1-year-old, 1.5-year-old, turned on Hulu kids shows today by just clicking at the remote, like bam, 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 until he already wanted it, and he was happy.
And then it was
Hey,
like, and then he stopped clicking,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot of learning apps out there, unfortunately, that our kids can outsmart. Lexia is one that does not let it happen. And it's so funny because the kids get really frustrated. Like, I cannot get through this level, because it'll take them not back a level, but it'll kind of like take them out into like this review session to review whatever the particular thing is that they're struggling with, and then let them go back to that lesson and try it again. So it doesn't just let them guess to the end of the level, which is something that I love so much. Because I think our kids are, and I think most kids are, really smart with technology.
Yeah, I remember yesterday Saya was playing it, and he was happy because like they both said like, I'm gonna play this till I'm an adult because this is the best thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, go for it. And he was challenged on some level, probably some reading level or whatever, and he had to like read the words, and he got to the end of the pie piece. So like each pie slice gets harder.
Get you closer.
And so he was at the last one, and he was like, I can't get this one.
Yeah.
And I was just laughing because I'm like, that's the point of the app. It's supposed to challenge you as you get further. So like, it's getting to that final boss battle kind of thing.
And it's been interesting to see, like with that game in particular, they hate it, but they love it.
Right,
right. I mean,
they
it's
love the
something
challenge
that I love because it really does challenge them, and I actually feel like they are learning. But they enjoy it too. They don't get bored. But I have to kind of set a time limit on it. So I'll say like, you have 15 to 20 minutes, depending on like what else is going on that day or what other work they have to do. And when the timer goes off, you're done. Now, if they're like almost done with the level, I'll let them finish the level because I'm not, a monster. But I wouldn't want them to lose their progress. But I'm not going to let them sit and play on it all day, because honestly, they could try to play the same thing all day and like they're not learning anymore at that point. Mm-hmm. And so I do set a time limit on it, but it's more like for their benefit than for anything else, because they would play for a really long time.
You don't want your kids to get burned on anything.
Yeah.
Like, there's too much time. You need too much time at the park, and too much time doing all the fun things. Too much excess is bad, right? There's a saying about that somewhere. So.
I think, Lexia, obviously we've talked about it a lot, but there's lots of other apps out there. We use Khan Academy Kids or something. We've used ABC Mouse. We've used Prodigy Math. I use Spelling City for Adri for her spelling words. What else?
There's like a phonics reader thing that had like reverse letters for dyslexia. Did you mention that one? I don't know.
No, I haven't.
I was listening, but I don't know if I heard
that's a
it,
really good app for Adrian in particular. There's kind of if you have Apple, there's like a group of apps that they'll sell together. It's called like Reversals, I think. And so all of them kind of address different parts of phonics that kids with dyslexia struggle with. And that is also a really good app. It's definitely an app that it's like a couple bucks for the whole, like there's like 6 or 8 games. But it is something that's really good and addresses some of the stuff that Adri struggles with. So it's something that we'll do from time to time.
Yeah.
When I notice that some of the things that she's used to are kind of popping back up.
Well, it's one of those tools in technology where it helps in the real world as well, because now she'll be able to read her books for school, and
it's definitely something that like if they do too much of it, they get bored of it. So it's something that I'll kind of throw in like once every week, like, hey, do 10 minutes of this game.
It's a 10-minute thing.
Yeah, and then we won't touch it again for a week or two.
Yeah, it's just like training yourself to remember that skill.
Yeah. We do math flashcards. We do sight word flashcards. There's all kinds of apps out there. And I think the thing that's important to remember is just because it's on a screen doesn't mean they're not learning. So I would 100% advocate for using those screens, using that technology to address your kids' learning when you're able to do so. I think it requires a lot of like trial and error. Like I've downloaded and deleted a lot of apps. like a lot. It takes me like
I think it's as a parent, as that's one of your roles,
Yeah,
is
that's
to
probably
delete all
true.
the apps that your kids put on there that you didn't want.
Yeah, but I'm downloading all these,
I
so it's a
understand.
little bit
I'm
more
just saying,
frustrating.
there's a lot of apps being added and deleted.
Honestly,
weekly.
I've logged a lot of hours in
Just
doing research on
searching
apps.
through so many.
Yeah, and finding ones that I like that are good for each of the kids.
So please suggest good ones if you have one.
Yeah, if there's ones that you use that you really like, I'm still on the hunt for the perfect math app. Like I said, we do math flashcards, but I think there's a lot of other math skills out there other than just memorizing like the math facts.
Yeah, and some other tools we use are like Netflix and YouTube stuff. Like when I take the kids to school, I'll like put Netflix on, or I'll put YouTube on my phone and pull up TEDx Education and watch some of their like quizzes or riddles or histories, like the history of chickens and the history of dogs and just silly things. But the kids like it because it's cartoon animation, but it's an actual true history of that thing.
Yeah. Well, and the same with like Magic School Bus is great for science. I mean, like it seems silly, but like our kids learn a lot from watching Magic School Bus, like way more than they do watching My Little Pony.
The kids got shrunken and went inside of a chicken egg. I mean, we have 16 chicken eggs in our bin over here hatching. So you know, there's like now they've seen a show version of what's going on in the eggs, and they can understand like it's gonna be a baby chicken.
Yeah. You know, there's lots of like documentaries. Disney Plus has the National Geographic, and there's all sorts of like cool documentaries and stuff on there. There's How It's Made, I think it was on Hulu. I don't know if it still is. I hope it is. You know, like there's Mythbusters Jr. on Hulu. I think regular Mythbusters is still on there. Like there's all kinds of stuff that is, or there's just YouTube. Like, you know, take a stroll through YouTube and you can find stuff on every particular subject and elective.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's how I got to the TEDx stuff because I would say, let's for search or something. What are you interested in? Oh, I want to learn about boats. All right, let's watch this boat YouTube video, and there it is, and talks about whatever.
So I was looking up art stuff to try to supplement on YouTube for the kids, and because I'm like crafty, but I'm not artsy. Like drawing frustrates me because I'm a perfectionist, and it just is not right, and it makes me angry. So I'm not artsy like that at all. But I was once upon a time. So as I was looking for art stuff on YouTube, I came across Mark Kistler, he had like a show on PBS probably, because I think that was one of the only things I was allowed to watch when I was a kid. But he had this art show and he drew like these cartoons and stuff. And I was just so excited about it because I watched it when I was a kid. And like he has a very like particular style about the way he draws his cartoons and stuff. And it was just like walking down memory lane. But like, or there's Spanish on YouTube and there's, you know, sign language lessons on YouTube. And there's all kinds of stuff on YouTube if you don't have any other, which I find it hard to believe. Most people have at least one of the, especially now with quarantine, pretty much everyone I would be willing to bet has Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or something to get through the stay-at-home quarantine.
Right. Well, I think half of them are probably free or half priced at this point. So
yeah, and the same with apps. Like a lot of the apps right now are either free for a limited time or different things like that. So definitely. You know, there's those things out there.
The one thing I did find out recently, though, about the whole like child thing with YouTube and what like videos are allowed and stuff was like now apparently you can't create playlists if it's a child content video.
Oh yeah.
So something weird like that. Like I tried to save like a song or something, and they're like, "Oh, this is related as child content, so you can't make it into a playlist," which isn't helpful as a parent. But I could still bookmark it. But it was just.
I'm sure that the rules will change again soon. So
I can only imagine or hope because that was not like I have a playlist specifically for each kid that I previously created like years ago.
Yeah.
Or when they were born, I sort of created playlists and like just was like, oh, here's a cool like
Disney
song. Yeah, I'm a sap and whatever. So all the Disney princess songs are on Adri's playlist, and Saya has all the boy songs in Saya's playlist, like Hercules and whatever else. So, you know.
Anyway.
You can't do that now.
No. One of my favorite technology things that we've learned. This is probably, if you pick up one thing from listening to this will be it. It's brilliant. We have been having Adri video chat with Nana or other family members and read to them.
Yeah, through FaceTime or Messenger.
And it is wonderful. So This is mostly a me thing more than anything
Thank you,
else.
family and Nana and Granny.
I hate reading with Adrian in particular because it's such a pain. I don't mind reading with Jamie. I don't mind reading with Saya. And Adrian's getting better about it, but she hates reading. I hate reading. Part of that has to do with the whole dyslexia thing we were mentioning earlier. It's just painful. It's just painful.
Yeah. It adds time, and it's like if you want.
Yeah.
I would prefer like just doing sight word flashcards. And,
Yeah.
Like learn the sight words.
Yeah, but that doesn't help with what she struggles with.
Reading comprehension.
Yeah,
That's a whole.
But that's
other
kind
aspect.
that's sort of besides the point. But then she gets to still interact with family members. She gets her reading done. She's excited about reading, so she has a better attitude.
Yeah.
And I don't have to do it.
Yeah,
It's
she gets
wonderful.
to use the tablet and they can
It's
make
like a
little
win-win,
faces and-
win-win. I mean, it's the best thing.
Yeah.
And so it's a wonderful way to use technology. It's so funny. I heard her the other day. She was reading and then she got stuck on a word and your mom was like, spell it. And Adri's like, it's, like TAKE, OU, I don't know, takeout is the word that's coming to mind. I know that's not what the word was, but, but like, so they kind of have figured out a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Even though they're not next to each other, and it's
you might not be able to sit in your kid's lap, or they can't sit in your grandparents' lap, but they can help each other through technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that has been really helpful, and that's something we've just started recently, but that's been wonderful for me.
Yeah.
Something else that we do that we've done for a long time, and it really helps, is we have special boxes of toys. You kind of mentioned this during the last podcast.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, but we have special boxes of toys that are only for like during school time. These are mostly for Kenzie, but they also are kind of an incentive to the other kids to get their work done faster. So Kenzie has a box of like Calico Critter toys. She has a box of Littlest Pet Shop toys. And then she has some boxes of different craft stuff. So there's like a box of stamps, a box of stickers, a box of Play-Doh. I don't know. There's probably some other stuff too.
Yeah.
But so she will, when the other kids are starting with school, I'll say, okay, what special toy do you want me to get down, or what craft do you want to do today? And she'll get something down and she'll set it up at the table, or wherever the kids are not working that's safe from Obi. And a lot of them have like little toys, so it feels very special that she gets to play with it. And she's content to do that for hours because it feels special. Like it feels like even though she's not having attention, she still feels like she's going to do something.
Right. That's set aside for her
Yeah.
during school time because then she's not really ready to do any school yet. So
Yeah. She does some.
She likes to sit with you and have like a paper to work on.
Yeah. But that requires a lot of one-on-one attention. So when I need her to go do something else so that I can give somebody else one-on-one attention, that's sort of what I rely on. And it's great. I mean, the Calico Critters, she plays with those for several hours. And that motivates Josiah to get done faster so that he can play with her.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. Some of the other things aren't, the entertainment factor isn't as long on. But they still make her feel special. It still makes her feel like she's getting to do something that, sort of gets her out of my hair for a little bit at least, which is nice.
Right.
Ooh, puns. That was loud. Very rude. We also have started... I've started giving them gum, which is totally a random spur of the moment thing. She's going to jump off that table. Can you grab her?
Yeah. I've been trying to keep her.
She's probably hears her babies crying or something.
I'll let her walk around for a second.
I don't hear them, though. She must just want to stretch her legs now that she's free of her children.
The cat was out here earlier.
I can understand the need to just be free of the children every once in a while.
I'm surprised you haven't taken more drives just to get out. I'm just going to drive. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to go get exposed to containment, but...
Just going to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Just
drive around.
So chewing gum, back to the matter at hand. The kids got some gum in an Easter basket, I think from your mom.
I think it was Candace.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So kids got some gum in an Easter basket. Yeah, from a friend. And so we don't usually let them have gum because inevitably it ends up, with lots of girls and lots of dogs and animals with fur.
Sticky things in hair just isn't good.
It just ends up everywhere. But I thought, you know what? Well, no, I was actually really frustrated. They just all kept talking, and I was like, just shut your mouth and do your math. You do your handwriting. Just stop talking. And so it was sort of if you don't stop talking, I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind. And so I said, you know what? If you be quiet, I will give you gum. And if you talk and you're not asking a question, I will take your gum away. Deal? And I had 3 silent children chomping on gum, doing their work, and it was magical. So since then, they get gum a lot.
The promise to teach them how to blow bubbles.
Oh yeah, they're still working a lot on blowing the bubbles, but we'll keep working on that. But the chewing gum has helped a lot. It keeps their mouths busy because we have lots of busy mouths in our house. But keeps them focused on school. So that's been kind of a nice, like, unexpected tool.
Yeah.
That just is an easy thing. I got a whole bunch more fruit by the foot. I have like 4 rolls of it now, or like bubble tape, whatever it is.
Stacked next to the chicken noodle soup cans.
A stack of gum.
Tape gum.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, it works. So, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the other thing was the star chart, which she told me how to utilize that today. She's like, okay, I'm going to go work on this thing in my office. You get the kids to help you.
Yeah.
If they don't say they want to help, then just say, well, then you're not getting a star. And so that helped me to get them to stay motivated, and just to start working on some stuff. So I think Adri was like, I need 4 stars to get my chart finished.
Yeah.
And was very excited to do that because once they get it's like 40 stars or something.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, you only get 1 star for like each task that you do.
Yeah.
So it takes 40 tasks to get a full chart, but then mom buys them $10 of stuff on Amazon or something.
So then they get to come upstairs.
Yeah.
They look at Amazon with me. And so it's a little special, like, mommy and kid.
You did all of these activities and extra things. It's not like making your bed and like helping clean the table.
No,
like, that's
it's not
all,
like the normal tasks.
That's your normal stuff.
Yeah. The star chart is typically for like above and beyond sorts of things. Yeah. So like Josiah has recently taken it upon himself to empty the garbage. When he sees that the garbage is empty, he just takes it out. And it's the most wonderful, gentlemanly, sweet, kind thing that I've ever had a child do in my whole entire life. That's probably not really true, but like it just, every time he does it, I want to just smooch his face all over. And probably because I've had a lot of incidents with taking out the garbage can. I've had a lot of garbage bags break. I don't know. The garbage bags, they just hate me. And so I really try not to do it as much as possible. For whatever reason, though, Josiah, I've asked him before, and I've asked the other kids because we have like the smaller garbage can size, mostly to help with my garbage can issues.
Yeah, they're all 13 gallon or less.
Yeah, they're like all small. So the kids can easily carry them. But Josiah's just started doing it without being asked. He just sees the need. He meets the need, which is kind of something we've been talking with him about. And so when he does that, if I notice, I'm like, dude, take a star, man. I appreciate that. Adri the other day, just sat with Obi and watched him and played with him and kept him entertained and happy while I was working in the kitchen. And it was wonderful. I didn't ask her to do it. She just was, in a mood wanting to make Obi laugh. And I was able to get some stuff done without interruption or a baby crying on my feet. And it was just that was really kind. We used them to I had Jamie put away Josiah's laundry because it was his birthday. And so I was like, hey, and it wasn't like I asked all of them who wanted to do that task. So it was sort of like I'll pay you for this special task in stars. And like I said, at the end, it results in a toy. So you are right. It's money-ish. Right. So I told them that it's not like 5 cents. Whoever put away Saya's laundry for him would get 2 stars for that task. And Jay was all over that. Adri doesn't like to put laundry away. So she was not to be bought with 2 stars. Yeah. I told them if they clean up the basement by themselves, they get 6. If they do it as a team, they each get 2 or 1, depending on how well they do. That hasn't happened yet. That did not happen. They were so motivated. They're just I'm gonna do it all myself. I'm gonna get 6 stars. This is gonna be awesome. And then she goes back up. She's like, I couldn't do it. The basement is 300 square feet of kid space. It's a lot of toys and a lot of toy space. Yeah, yeah. But it also works for school. We've used it for if you choose to read without fussing today, you can have a star because I know that you've had a long day.
Right.
So there's different things like that are like sort of just, we try to make them not bribes necessarily, but more like a reward for good behavior. Certainly, like I said, there's times that it sort of is like a payment instead of money.
Nobody likes a bad attitude, and Saya
Yeah.
was definitely being a little bit bad attitude yesterday.
Yeah,
So we were
yeah.
like, okay, no bad attitude, no stars. And then the table was cleaned in 3
Yeah.
seconds. So
But that's, something else. I mean, lots of people do different things, and that's something that even in classrooms, like they have behavior modification, like the clip down system or whatever, and different things like that. So there's lots of ways to do
and
that.
I think if you're going to use a tool like that, it's how you present it to the kids, because
Yeah.
you got to make them excited about it. You can't be like, you're going to love it. You're each going to get a nickel. And you're like, why?
And they're like, great.
Yeah.
Mines have 375 nickels, which will be 2 years of school.
Right.
Like, so, keeping your expectations realistic, is I think important. But definitely, I don't think there's anything wrong with something like that, especially during the school day, because that is sort of a different way of interacting with your kids. So, using something like that because the other thing that we've always said is school is their job, like I have a job, I go to work. Josh has a job, he goes to work. And he gets paid for his job, and he gets paid, for doing his job well. And for a very long time, our kids' job, their occupation is learning and going to school. And I don't have a problem with paying them in stars or at some point in money for a job well done. To me, learning is one of the most important things that they could be doing. So I'm all for that. But anyway, I think that's all the time that we have for today, because kids will surely be waking up soon.
Oh, yeah.
We'd love for you to share your ideas of ways that you use creative strategies to get through the day. If you've tried any of the ones that we've talked about, we'd love to hear them in the comments as well.
All right. Until the next adventure.
Bye.
Bye.